Okay, I got a student that sent me a question. Um, it sent me a question from the completing the squares. Um, and when you on the hardest version of the completing the squares, sometimes you have this a b that's a fraction, and then you've got to divide it by two and square it, which can be it's not that too bad if you've got whole numbers that are divisible by two. But when you have fractions, it can be a little trickier, especially if you're having a little trouble remembering the fraction rules. So this is how I handle this situation right here with the fractions. Okay, so you've got 13 over 2 divided by 2 all squared. The first thing I do is just concentrate on the inside. Okay, so that 13 over 2 divided by 2. I take that, I write it as 13 divided by 2 divided by 2. So I'm just changing the notation. I'm changing this bar to the division sign. And then any number is just itself over 1. So 2 can really be rewritten as 2 over 1. And then there's that nice rule that if you're dividing by a fraction, you can really multiply by its reciprocal. So I change the division to a multiplication, and I flip over 2 over 1 to 1/2. Okay, and then just multiply. Nice thing about multiplication with fractions is it's nice and easy. It's 13 times 1 is 13. 2 times 2 is 4. Okay. And so we can really rewrite the inside of this parentheses as 13 over 4, right? We just calculated that 13 over 2 divided by 2 is equal to 13 over 4. So this stuff is really just equal to 13 over 4. And now all we have to do is worry about squaring it, okay? And the cool thing about squaring a fraction is it's really just the same thing as squaring the numerator and denominator. Okay, those are the exponent rules. So 13 squared is 169, and 4 squared is 16. And so that's how my math lab gets that this is equal to 169 over 16. And I love this question because it is, sometimes you're going through, these are the explanation steps from Khan Academy, but you know, some of the steps make sense, but then all of a sudden they come up on a step that isn't explained quite enough. So that this is a great question, and you can always send that to me, and I can tell you how Khan's going from this step to this step. You know, for some students, they just need a little bit more explanation going from here to here than just like this is equal to this. Okay, so yeah, great question. I hope that helped clarify a little bit.